Hello YouTube, it's been a while. I'm here today to share with you guys the planner that I'm currently using. So let me just say this. In the beginning of the year I had a plan to use different planners. Sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? Planners. And I did a video on that and I will link for that up here. But not very long after I made that video, I had gotten sucked into this whole bullet journaling thing. Now, to preface, let me just say this. To me, bullet journaling is a form of keeping track of things or writing down notes or jotting down things. That's what bullet journaling means to me, and that's how I've used it in the past. I have made a video on this several years ago, and I will link that up here as well. With the whole trend on how it's gone, I got kind of sucked into that and thought it was a little bit interesting. The reason I thought it was interesting is because while I love the planners that I was using, I always felt like I was settling because each planner didn't have everything that I wanted in it. And so I would have to sacrifice a little bit in order to make do with what was currently out there. With the bullet journaling system, the way they have it now, which is pretty much just taking a notebook, however kind of notebook you would like to use, and really creating your own planner is what it comes down to. I had even a thought to create my own planner and print it, put it into production. But if you guys watch me on Snapchat, you know that I don't have any time for that. I actually designed all of the pages, but I didn't have enough time. And I did print out one for myself, which I might share with you guys later. It's pretty doggone awesome. I just don't have enough time to put it in production and then put it out there for the masses to buy. I don't have time for that. So I just did one planner, well no, actually two planners for myself and one for one of my girlfriends because she really loved it and she gave me her critique on it, but it'll probably never see the light of day because I just don't have time. I was looking at bullet journaling on YouTube, also on Pinterest, and I thought, you know what, this might come in handy because I can actually then do a planner the way I would want it and what I would want in it as well. So that's why I got sucked into that. So let me share with you really quickly the planner I'm using now and how I have it set up. There are sections that I will kind of skim through really quickly, and then there are other things that I will actually do more videos on in depth, and I do have a bunch of freebies to share with you guys if you are interested. So this is going to be video one of a series of my bullet journal videos. I don't plan on doing these every single month because my layout doesn't really change, but I just wanted to share with you guys how I use it, what I do with it, why I do it, what I do with it, if in case anybody likes what I have to share and might want to incorporate it into your own planners. Alright, so back in February is when I started this little bullet journaling adventure in this format. In my past planners, I've always used the bullet journaling type of note keeping where I would write one single line and then there was a corresponding icon to determine whether it was an appointment, it was something to do, it was being migrated or whatever. But I've now constructed or created my own little bullet journaling in this I don't know how to pronounce it, Lectern, Leuchtturm 1917, I don't even know. I got this from Blitzy and it's the actual bullet journal book. And I actually love it. So I started with this at first, and here I just have some stickers that my kids gave me, and they gave me Smurfs because if you've been following me for a long time, you know that I am the size of a Smurf. So I only thought it was appropriate to put these stickers on. As you open it up, this is where you can put your key, and I have this little sticker here, and it's by my girlfriend Joy. She drew DJ Khaled. If you guys are on social media and you follow him, he's hella funny. I no longer follow him because he can be much sometimes, but in the beginning I was following him when he first started coming up, and it says the key to success because that's what he always says. So she drew this, she turned it into a sticker, shared it with me, and I use it on my front page, and this is my key for what I use in my bullet journaling. Here is a plastic pocket that I put in myself, and this actually is one that I got from Traveler's Notebook. this is what's supposed to go into the traveler's notebook. And so I put it here because I always like to stuff things in the beginning or whatever. Here I have my name, I have my number over there, and whatnot. Now this is a little post-it note. It's a clear post-it note as a reminder of how I work my bullet journaling. So I go from a big goal to a monthly goal to a weekly goal to a daily goal. It's like a funnel. That's how I do it. Then is the index area. I don't really use the index area. Here I have the future log area, which is a year on one page. So a quick overview. And as you can see, I have different events and birthdays highlighted. And then this is a future log as well. And on this thingy, I have, this is how I actually index my bullet journaling. And I will come back and share this with you guys later. This is an inspiration that I got when I was using DIY Fish. We collaborated and I designed a insert for DIY Fish. And then she put it into production and made it for me. And I will link that up here too. But this is how she uses her index with DIY Fish inserts, and I love it, and I've since used it in my planners for the last several years. This area has 6 months on 2 pages, so January to June. These stickers are from Ink by Jeng, and then I just put like things that need to be done every single year. So it's kind of like a perpetual planner where it has people's birthdays and then the things that needs to be done in a year. And if you look at it like this is actually a quarterly layout as well. So I have January to June, then I have July through December. Then I have my personal goals, and I have them on 2 pages. My home goals, my personal goals, and then I break them up into quarters. Here I have the same thing for business and then social media, and I have them broken up into quarters, and I check them off as I go. I use an Oli clip because I love Oli clips. I've loved them for forever. I've actually was introduced to them by Pretty Neat Living, Jennifer Ross. Pages that I no longer look at in here. Now let me tell you this. I have some stuff in here that I initially put in because I got, like I said, I got sucked into the bullet journaling thing, and I was like, oh my god, that's a great little thing. So I did like Miracle Morning, which I read this book, oh god, like years ago when it first came out. I read it, and then I referenced back to it because it's been a thing again that's trending. So I wanted to take a look at that. I look at that, I'm like, you know what, I already do this stuff. Why did I even write it? It's useless. And then I did a life wheel, and this kind of just tells you where you are in your life and how you rate different areas of your life. And so I made my own life wheel, and this I thought was important because it kind of sees what areas I need to improve in, and I'll go over that later on with you guys. And then I have my undo it task list, which is things that I need to stop doing. And then I did a productive day, which is useless because I don't even look at that. And then I started a month on 2 pages. On this area I have my bills, and then I went into my plans for the month or my monthly goals. And then here I wrote down my daily schedule. Now this is kind of out of sorts because technically it should have gone in the beginning with this other collection here, but because this was an afterthought, it went here, which it really doesn't belong there, and it kind of irritated me, and the fact that I couldn't take it out irritated me even more. So I was like, let's just go with it. The thing about bullet journaling is when you make mistakes, you just kind of have to roll with it and learn how to roll with it. I am not so much of a roll with it kind of chick, so this was working my last nerve. Then I went to a week on 2 page spread, which was okay but didn't have enough room for me. So I tried to use this as much as possible. Didn't really love it. In the beginning of every single week, what I do is I put my weeks, the goals for this week, and then I start in on the week. So as you can see, it has the large goal, monthly goal, so monthly goal, weekly goal, and then daily stuff. Okay, so I used it in February, I used it in March, and as you can see, this is what my March looks like. Always a month on 2 pages because it gives me just enough room to write. I use washi tape to block out like large periods of time. Each washi tape again is color coded. I love quotes, so I will put quotes over here. I have a little area for plan ahead. Now there's a few other things that I added as I started using this bullet journaling. So I have a goals for the month and then the goal for the week, and I also tried to do this tracking system, which I massively failed because as you can see, I only did like the first 4 days of March, and then I just never looked back at this. But one thing that I thought was important and that I put in here, and let me show you, is my moon and mood tracker. And I started doing this in March, and I really loved it. Now this is the next video that's coming up, and I'm going to share with you guys in depth on how I do it, what I do with it, why I do it, and I have a freebie of this exact template so that you guys can do it on your own. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. And I have April again. Now in my bullet journaling, I use these little transparent page flags. If there's a humongous project in my house that I want to do, what I do is I put them on here. So I say, okay, this week in April, I want to work on the countertops, meaning I want every single countertop in my house spotless. I don't want jack on it, okay? So the entire week, what I did was I said, I'm going to work on this. And this catches my eye and says, Nadine, get to work. That's how I designate different projects in my house so that it gets done. Now, if by chance it doesn't get done this week, I can always move this because this is one of those things where you can move. But just so happens, it got done. The beauty of this is that next year when I'm doing my next bullet journal, I can look back at this, take these things off, and then move them again to the following year, because stuff like my countertops, that's stuff that needs to be done, you know, quite a lot. So here is another one of my moon and mood trackers. Here is a track it page that I actually did more with. This is my daily card pull. All right, so I use this bullet journal from February until April. And then I switched up because while I love this little thing, I love the size and everything, I didn't like the fact that it was bound. That kind of drove me crazy. So temporarily, I started using an arc system. Now, I made a video a while ago and I said how the arc system irritated me, and it irritated me because the paper, when you put it in and out, it doesn't really, it gets all crazy looking. I've since figured out a solution, and the solution is to use thicker paper. So here is my second bullet journal I used, and this time it was an arc. Now this binder is actually from Staples. This is the Arc brand. It is equivalent to a A5 size, a little bit bigger I would think, but kind of along the same lines. In it I have this dashboard, which is actually from me and my big ideas. What I did was I trimmed it down because it's really long, so I trimmed off the bottom and then I punched holes in it. And the reason why I thought I would love this is because it has pockets in it, and so any kind of loose things I had, I could just tuck it in here. And then here I have my first page, which has my key again, and it also has my index, which I love, and I love how this thing turned out really nice and simple. I had to bring over my year on a page for 2017, and then my half year on 2-page overview. I again used these little transparent sticky flags to go ahead and designate different things. I wanted them to stand out, and so that's why I put them on there. I did my life wheel again. I did my undo it, so stuff that I need to stop doing, like incompleted task, procrastinating stuff, clutter, too much planning, not enough doing, and digital distractions. I am famous to get distracted by digital stuff. Like say for instance, I should have been making a video all this time, but then again, what was I doing? Playing on Snapchat, because Snapchat is life. Here I have a little girl by Mommy Lay, and we'll visit this life wheel in depth. Then I have my time blocking, which I brought over. I have a little picture of my house, and this is actually my house. And this is the projects that I wanted to do in my house. I have them on the sticky flags again, because what I have planned is that as the months go by, I'm going to take this off and put it where it belongs on the month that I want to work on these things. When it gets done, I take them off and I put them back here so that I can reuse them again for next year. Then what I love is that I have my daily schedule written out. I have my AM, PM, weeks, and then months. And it is in the beginning where it belongs. So the beauty of this arc system is that I use thicker paper and I can move things so that they're not stuck in an area that I don't like. Then again, I have my personal goals, my quarterly goal, business goals, social media goals, quarterly goals again. Now here's my main, again, same thing, month on 2 pages. I have my build area over here. Then I also added this little calendar. So there's 2 calendars back to back in this thing. It is my personal calendar, which has everything in it, and then this is my social media calendar, which is where I had planned on doing different things. on YouTube. But as you can see, because it's been many months since I've done anything on YouTube, this thing's blank. Here I have some workflow things and then an idea, and I will go into depth with this again. And then I did my moon phases again. I did track it, which again I suck at, so I stopped doing that altogether. And then my daily card pulls. I always like to start the month with my monthly goals, personally and business-wise. And then I started the week with my weekly goals. I also start the week with a menu planner. So what I'm having for dinner throughout the week. One day I don't cook because I actually go out to date night with my hubby, and then I have a running grocery list here. Sundays, what I would do is I would write down my menu for the week, one day being off because that's our date night, and then I would write my grocery list here. Now the beautiful thing about this, there's nothing on the back of this. So what I can do is I can take my little perforated OFA tool, the Hobonichi website, which I will link as well. And then I can take this, and all I do is just run my perforated tool down the page, give it a little bit of a fold, and then go ahead and tear this out so that when I go to the store, I can just put this in my bag and go. However, I've been doing online grocery shopping because, yeah, you know what? It just saves me time. So I didn't have to use this. But for those of you who might want to, you know, go ahead and do this, this right here and this little system is a miracle worker. Okay, so now referencing back to my initial bullet journal, I realized that the week on 2 pages didn't work for me. There wasn't enough space. So I ended up going with this format, which is a day on a page. And that kind of worked, which was good. And it, as you can see, it's the same. So what I did was nothing changed. I used the same thing over and over again. I use this from May all the way through August. Now let me show you something I love about the ARC system. Use these little pages, and this is actually from Martha Stewart. And I could add things in here like this. So like my goals this week, this is how I started to change up my bullet journaling and put them in like this. I also got this. This is another one from me and my big ideas, and all I did was cut them down and punch a thing, and this turned out to be how I was doing my meal planning sometimes. As you can see, my bullet journaling evolved as, you know, I've been using it, which is perfect because you would never be able to do such thing in another planner because it's set. It's set the way that the person who designed the planner wanted it to be laid out, and that's great. But I found that it doesn't work for everybody, and that eventually you just end up sacrificing because you're stuck with what you bought. But this way, you can do whatever the heck you want. And then in September, while I love this thing, I was like, you know what? This thing is like much. It's much. It's really much. And it started to get really bulky. So I'm like, well, maybe I need to rethink this. So I went back to this system. Now, this is a Foxy Fix. This is the mochi color. Love this thing. I am not usually a pink girl, but I love it. I'm usually a purple girl if you know me for a while. So now we're back into this one again. Now, what drove me crazy was the fact that I actually had my ARC exactly the way I wanted it, and now I was going back to this one because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to open up a new entire bullet journal because that's going to be wasteful. Let me just use the one that I had. I used this from February to April. I used the ARC in May through August. And then I'm back here again. And I started this in September. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let's use this again and see how this works out. Because to tell you the truth, I really love the size of it. I love the size this way and the size this way. It's really very perfect and it feels good too. So here we are in September. I marked the beginning of the month with a little page flag. This is the most decoration you'll probably ever see because I had some time to kill, and I was like, let me make this look a little cute so that I feel like I want to use this again. So I did this. Month on 2 page, everything is color coordinated. My bill's on this side, plan forward here, and then this little girl from Mommy Lay Designs. This is the social media area. Here's another social media area that I have, and I'll do an in-depth of that too in my bullet journal series. I have another moon and mood tracker here. And then again, at the start of the month, I do the monthly goals. And I have them set up in quadrants. So me, home, content calendar, and business. Then I have menu planning and then the goals for the week. And that's how I split this up this time. I was gonna do a track it here. I decided not to since I've failed miserably before. I was like, why put yourself out there like that so that you're setting yourself up for failure? Let's not do that, Nadine. Let's not. Okay, so then to notate the day, I have another little page flag here, and we're gonna jump forward a little bit because I want to share with you guys how my day on a page actually looks, because I kind of streamlined it a little bit. So I have an area up here, and these are the things that must be done. If nothing else, these things need to be done. This stuff, and not so much. Well, appointments, yes. The left side of the page is for appointments. The right side is my to-do list. Down here is for whatever notes or whatever. This money up here, I always in the morning, first thing in the morning, I take a look at what's in my bank account, that I know how much money I have to play with, and I put it up here. This is after all of my bills are paid. Money is put in my account for my taxes, and I have money in my savings account as well. So after all of the main things are done, this is my play money. And then I also have what I'm gonna have for dinner at the same time here. So this is the day that I'm making this video, and I haven't put what I'm having down here yet because you know why? Because I'm going out for girls' night out tonight. So she's not cooking. But these are the things I need to do today. This is my to-do list. Okay, so let's take a look at something that I came up with in my own little system here. What I do right here is I actually stamp this out, and this is a stamp by ink by Jeng. Okay, she's on Etsy, and I will link for all of this stuff down below. This is her vertical stamp set, and you can use this for tracking or whatever. I happen to use it to designate time. So I go from 7 to 11 at night, and on this side I will write appointments that I have for the day. Today I work very little because I'm working from home. Hallelujah. This is why I'm here making this video. And then this side, I'm tracking time. So when I say that, what I mean is that I want to know what the heck I'm doing in my day, because I find that sometimes my day goes by and I'm like, what happened? Where did that go? And how come I didn't do anything? So in order to check my production or track my production, I'm going to keep track of that from this point forward. And that's pretty much how my day on a page looks. Saturdays and Sundays share a page because there's not a lot going on other than I work on Saturday. And then Sunday is usually just my time. Here, again, I'm getting ready to prep for the next upcoming week. And so here I will have my menu plan, and here I'll have my goal for the week. And then we start on the next week. Again, you see I already have everything stamped out. I used a stamp for this and a stamp for this. Another video coming up at the end of this series that I'm going to share with you guys my bullet journal favorites, and that's the things that I use when I bullet journal. I'm also going to go ahead and do a plan with me, but you'll see me prep for October coming up. So this is my upcoming week. If I have things that are coming up, I have them here. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, this is my appointment that I talk about the micro needling that I'm gonna do. So stay tuned for that. We have this important thing. I gotta pick up my stuff from Target. Hello, muy importante. Saturday, Sunday again. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into October. So that is my bullet journal. Pretty much. Again, I have it in a Foxy Fix. I will link that. I apologize that this video might have been a little bit long and lengthy and chatty, but how else are you gonna do a video like this? You know, you gotta explain stuff, people. Anyway, if you like my video, I would love it if you guys could give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe so that you can be notified when I post another video. So thanks again so much for watching, and stay tuned because tomorrow I will be back to share with you guys another bullet journal video that specifically looks at different parts of my bullet journaling, and I'm going to share with you guys freebies as well, and we're going to do this for the remainder of the week. And then at the end of the week is a big giveaway. Hey guys, I'll talk to you later. TTFN, ta-ta for now.